All right, Hotep family. It is the showstopper they call the grasshopper. Pianky, the name. And William Marshall Dow the second is my government name, named after my illustrious grandfather, William Marshall Dow the first. May he rest in eternal spirit. Oftentimes, people ask me, why do I continue to use my government name? Me being a Pan-Africanist, me being very immersed into Kemetic spiritual science. They often ask me, why would you continuously keep your government name? And here's the reason. When I got three African names. I got Mse Maji Wayusi, I got Tete Kwame, I got Pianky as well. And all those names, African names or Nile Valley names, were given to me by Jegnas. Some you refer to Jegnas as a mentor or a teacher giving me those names. So I recall when I went to the naming ceremony for Pianky and a Tete Kwame. When I was going to naming ceremony, I told my grandfather that, hey, I'm moving the African name. And he was like, oh, what's wrong with our name? What's wrong with my name? Because I'm named after my grandfather. And I said, there's nothing wrong with your name at all. It's just I want to take on an African name. He was like, why do you want to take on an African name? And I said, Grandpa, this is what I'm going to do. You've been great to me. You have looked out for me. You have made sacrifice for me, my sister, my mom, which is your daughter. And I made a promise to my grandfather that I will not eradicate the name William Marshall Dow from my equation, from my reality. I'm going to keep the name. Even though I know at one point in time he was a part of Dow Plantation, I'm not keeping the name because of that. I'm keeping the name out of respect for my grandfather. But I had to tell my grandfather that I'm going to keep the Dow name, not going to eradicate the Dow name from my destiny, from my reality. However, I will choose an African name that represents who I am. I'm going to choose an African name. And he said, okay, he understood. So that's the reason why I keep William Marshall Dow the second. I'm going to eventually, obviously, get my name legally changed. It's going to be Pianky Dow. I will continue to keep my last name, Pianky Dow. I'm going to keep my grandfather's last name out of respect for him. He's an ancestor now, so that is the reason why I continue to refer to myself as William Marshall Dow the second. But once I get the legal name change, it will be Pianky, Pianky Dow. And one day I'll tell you, if you don't know, how and who I got the name Pianky from. Okay, today is January the 8th, 2019, according to the Western calendar, and that is in correspondence with the Kemetic calendar, which is 6,259. Also referred to as 6259 Smatawi. Welcome to the 7th millennium. Today I want to talk about something that's, I think is very important. And I'll be honest with you, back in the day, when I was younger, knee-high to a centipede or knee-high to a grasshopper, which is my nickname, I wasn't really into what I'm going to talk about today. I thought it was corny. I thought it was pretty much a facade. I don't think it was real. But when I got into the movement, when I got more African-centered, when I became awakened, and even when I got married to my wife, I realized the importance of a topic that I'm going to talk to you guys about today. And that topic is dealing with vision boards, really called voodoo boards. You know what I mean? And this is very important because the reason I want to talk about voodoo boards, and that's another key component that's very important as far as voodoo boards, is voodoo. First of all, voodoo is another term that represents spirituality. It's a different spiritual culture that derives out of Africa. And if you look in particular, the Haitian Revolution of 1804, 215 years ago, not only did they defeat the French, Napoleon, and those others who tried to invade and take over that beautiful island, not only did it defeat them with hand-to-hand, or what we call, or what Toussaint Louverture taught, CQC, close quarter combat, which they was very surreal in, but they also relied on the spirit of voodoo, or voodooism, meaning a spiritual componency where you are calling on your ancestors, where you're using your terrain, you're using your environment, using the decadence of nature, you become immersed in the nature, and even when diabolical forces come to take over that nature, you're using the power of the nature to destroy the enemy coming into your terrain, your area. So voodooism is nothing it is sacrilegious if you want to know the real intricacies of sacrilegious, but it's nothing or anti-spiritual about voodooism. And one of the key elements of voodooism or being a voodooist is you got to draw what your reality is. You got to put it on a rock. You got to put it on pavement. You got to put it on papyrus papers. You got to put it on sustainable, something that's going to be concrete that you can go back to. And a lot of times they deal with images. You deal with images, symbols that can put plasterized on some type of pavement, paper, whatever the case may be. And when you put it on that inanimate object, the spirit of the ancestors or the ancestors will bring it to reality along with your work, along with what you put into. It's like a blueprint. You know, a lot of architectures, they draw whatever they're going to create. Sky rises, apartment condos, they already had it mapped out. It's already made on the blueprint, on the papers, already made. It's already finished product. And their obligation is to go back and create what has been put on paper. So it's clearly defined. And now it's time for them to make what is on paper, make it a reality. It's a blueprint. That's what voodooism is, a spiritual blueprint where you put on boards, on paper, on papyrus, on pavement, and you bring it to reality. You know, it's something about putting it on paper. That's like when you write down goals, you write down assignments, to-do lists. It reminds you. It's like a catechism. It continues to remind you that you got to get certain things done. And once you revisit it or have it plasterized over your wall or throughout your house, it sends a reminder to your subconscious that either it's going to be complete or you still got some work to do to bring what you put on paper, on a poster, to reality. Those is voodooism. Have you seen the Lion King with the chimpanzee, I think it was? The orangutan. When he would draw on the rock, Simba being the king or Simba being alive, he would draw on the rock. That is a sign of voodooism. He's drawing. It's a vision. What is going to be foreseen in the future, you're drawing it into reality. No one is going to come to fruition. No one is going to become a reality. No one is going to take place in this physical, mental, and spiritual expression that we call life. That's the importance of voodoo boards, commonly referred to today as vision boards. And I'm telling you right now, a significant amount of those who are very successful, and I'm not just talking about money, I'm talking about healthy wealth, I'm talking about mentally wealthy, I'm talking about psychologically wealthy, spiritually wealthy, and materially wealthy as well. I'm guaranteeing you that a lot of them have voodoo, or what they would probably call vision boards. So it's very important to have voodoo or vision boards in your reality and have it to where you can clearly see it, you know. And these are clearly defined objectives, you know. Get it. You can get a magazine, you get whatever, a magazine. You can write some stuff down. You don't just have to get magazines and put them on a board. You can also write some stuff down and put it on a board as well. You can put down things that resonates with you historically. You know, I always got John Carlos and Tommy Smith. That represents, you know, justice. That represents really being unapologetically Black power. And we're going to talk about Black power in a minute. It's not just yelling Black power, but actually going out and attaining it. So I'm a big fan of John Carlos. I got this right here. I don't know if you probably can see it. But anyway, it's a Trinity symbol. Haile Selassie, you know, the Trinity symbol. People say it's the Illuminati sign, negative, even though the originality of Illuminati, we are the illuminated ones, but I ain't gonna go into that right now. It's a different topic for a different day. So anyway, I got a lot of me and my wife. This is our wife. We put this collage together, a voodoo board collage together. This is Black Economics 101. This is our organization right now. Definitely be a part of it. Black Economics 101, which is also reality that we governed. A lot of things up here that we have. This is me and my wife did that voodoo board years ago at a couples retreat. And a lot of these things that came to fruition, you know, the new house, the car, we needed businesses that's definitely taking over, and certain things as far as having an African mindset, I'll tell you, my voodoo boards is going to have some form of African centeredness, revolution. You know, I'm a big component of being humble. So I got humble in pretty much all the vision boards, lead, focus, eat clean. I got to definitely improve my health as well as that. My wife is a manifester, and she has invest, flowing, strong, beautiful black woman. You see right there, without question, be radiant. You know, I also got heroes of great African kings, Pianky. That's who I'm named after. I got this out of the book. Joe A. Rogers, Great Men of Color and Women of Color, Volume 1. He had Pianky, and this is Shaka Zulu as well, one of the great African Nasuts of our time. That's a lot of things. It's real good, man. It gives me a sense of security when I'm able to look and really see the power of these voodoo boards and vision boards. So yeah, so it's very important to have it. So I advise you all to get a vision board or voodoo board that is in alignment with your reality, in alignment with what you deem to be a representative of who you are. You know, if you're into business, if you're like myself, I like sports. I still like sports, even though I'm African centered. Yes. So I'm a deal with sports figures, but sports figures that had a revolutionary mindset. Tommy Smith, John Carlos. I got pictures all in my garage. I'll show you guys in Wall the Immortals where I got Muhammad Ali's out there. I named all of my boxing equipment after ancestors that was boxers, obviously black boxers. I named those inanimate objects called the Afro shape. So, and whatever it is that's your liking, whatever you like in technology, whatever it is, I will advise you get a magazine on that, get a board, and start putting certain images, certain sayings, certain quotes, proverbs, whatever, and put it on a board and make your voodoo board and make it clearly defined, simple objectives that you can revisit and bring it to your reality. So thank you all for tuning in. Once again, don't forget about Black Economics 101. It's an organization. You want to inquire about it, talk to Pianky, or you talk to Pianky Dow or Koshana Quayle Dow, my wife, and we'll be able to tell you about Black Economics 101. Go on Facebook, Grasshop, my other name, Grasshop, Grass Space Hop, Facebook, and give you more information about Black Economics 101. Anyway, thank you for being attentive. This is a showstopper. They call it Grasshopper. Pianky Asaru, William Marshall Dow II, named after my illustrious grandfather, William Marshall Dow I. Wish you all a wonderful and prosperous Tuesday. Hotep, Ashe, and big black love to all. We out.